Hi, it's Mike Power with Silver Range, and this is a first look at our new Tesoro project. First, a quick word from our lawyers. Tesoro is located about 45 miles northwest of Wickenburg in Yavapai County. It's readily accessible off Highway 93, and you can get around on the property on a variety of dirt roads, which require 4x4. The project consists of exploration permits covering 3 sections of state land, about 1,600 acres. This project has a very interesting history. There are 2 lost mines on the project, which we believe have been found, and a 3rd zone found from recent exploration. The most well-known showing on the project is the lost organ grinder mine. The story here is that in 1865, a trio of Italian organ grinders, musicians, arrived in La Paz on the Colorado River, equipped with a hand crank organ and a monkey each. They made a little money singing for their supper in La Paz and were interested in mining, and they heard about a strike out near Wickenburg and decided to head that way. When they were out in the desert, they ran across a man who was dying of thirst and starvation, and they nursed him back to health. He was a Mojave Indian, and in gratitude, he convinced them that he knew the location of a very rich gold mine. So they diverted from their path towards the Wickenburg Weaver area, and they headed up along the Santa Maria River, north of Peoples Canyon, and sure enough, there was a rich gold occurrence there. They broke a lot of quartz and collected a lot of gold-rich quartz, put some bags together, and were heading back towards Wickenburg. They stopped at the Tres Alamos Spring, and there disaster struck. They were ambushed one morning by a party of Apaches, and 3 of the 4 in the party were killed, except for one of the Italian organ grinders managed to escape and hide out in the bush and was overlooked. When the Apaches had left, he gathered his partners together, burned their bodies. He had made a small map of where the gold mine was and either buried it in a tin at the site or took it with him. The story kind of diverges here. And then he packed up the specimens and what remained of his gear, released the 3 monkeys to the wild, and started towards Wickenburg. But unfortunately, he didn't make it. He collapsed in the desert, not far from the road, and a teamster coming through on his way from Weaver spotted him, picked him up, tried to save him, gave him some water and whatnot, and was carrying him into town when he expired. But before he died, he told the teamster the story of his lost mine, and of course they had the samples with him for proof. The general area of the mine was known, and attempts were made to find it, and the lost organ grinder mine is believed to be at the location that we have on our project. The second lost mine on the project is attributed to Ben McClendon. Ben escaped slavery in 1861. He was born in Georgia. When the Civil War broke out, he left, headed west. He was one of the first prospectors in recent years in Arizona, and he was part of the Weaver Party that discovered the Weaver placer deposits in Antelope Creek north of Wickenburg. After that discovery, he went on to work by himself, and he found a mine in the same general area as the reported organ grinder mine. And for a year or more, he was reported to be coming back and forth into Wickenburg with a barrel full of specimens. He would crush the gold-rich quartz, pay his bills, go have a little celebration, load up and head back out again. He did this a number of times until one time he didn't show up, and they found him murdered out in the desert. And the exact location of his mine was once again not precisely known, but was reported in the same area as of north of Peoples Canyon, and there is an occurrence on our property that is believed to be the lost Big Bend mine. The area has been explored since then, most notably in the 1980s. A number of Canadian companies picked it up. New Tai Resources did the most work there, Hymac Resources. Company out of Colorado also worked there, Gerber Minerals. And finally, in the early 2000s, Sage Gold worked the property. Modern exploration to date has defined 3 zones on the property: the Big Bend, the Organ Grinder, and the Eastern Zone. And there's been some trenching and drilling, as well as the usual surface sampling and geochem surveys. All the data I'm going to show you in this presentation is from public domain data in the Arizona Geological Survey mining files and other public domain sources. We have not done any work to verify any of the material you're seeing here. We've made a best effort to digitize and relocate samples and data, but you should keep that in mind. Turning to the regional geology, the property is underlain by mid-Proterozoic granite and granodiorite. This is a coarse crystalline porphyritic igneous unit, extensive in this area, and contains very large phenocrysts of potassium feldspar. The rocks are cut by some strong northwest to north-northwest trending structures, but the principal gold-bearing structures on the property strike either west-northwest or northeast. In terms of regional alteration, there's a sericitic alteration, white mica associated with the mineralization, but there's nothing, there's no definitive fingerprint that we can see in the available public domain data. On the property, there are 3 showings: the Big Bend mine, the Organ Grinder to the south, and the Eastern Zone. We have no information on the Eastern Zone, it's just reported. At the Big Bend mine, most of the work here was done by Hymac Resources. They and the previous owners did some sampling. Sage Gold also did some sampling and returned the best numbers we've seen from the zone, which were rocks up to 52 grams and soils up to 9.2 grams. Soil geochem surveys appear to work very well here. The Hymac soil survey found responses up to 1,500 ppb, so good strong response from gold in soil. And this encourages us to believe this will be a useful tool on the property. Most of the work done to date on the properties at the Organ Grinder mine, and most of that was done by New Tai Resources in the 1980s. They did some sampling, cut some trenches, and they drilled 7 drill holes, RC holes here. You can see a compilation of the results. The trench results defined a fairly wide zone of lower grade gold mineralization, the 1 to 5 gram material. The zone looks deceptively wide here because it's on a bit of a dip slope, as you'll see. If we have a look at a drill section through here, you see that the zone is actually in the range of 3 to 5 meters thick, and it runs at 1 to 3 grams. So that's the story at Tesoro. We've got 3 gold zones, 2 historic mines, 2 styles of gold mineralization. We have the high angle veins that the old timers were looking at, very obvious gold in quartz. And we've got wider, more gently dipping, lower grade, but uniform gold occurring in at least 1 zone at the Organ Grinder. So 2 styles of gold mineralization. We believe that target will respond very well to geochemistry. You can see that at the Big Bend zone. And the project's open for expansion. It really hasn't been looked at since the 1980s. Most of the work focused right in on the areas of the known showings. We think this is very good area to go look in a wider circle for perhaps a larger gold-bearing system. So that's the story at Tesoro. We are applying for permits and we hope to begin exploration there in the fall. Great looking project, so stay tuned.